Good evening, guys. As gonna be the last kind of update from me this evening. So I wanted to do another had a short-ish video talking about Jonathan Joly. So, I guess a few things I was meant to say earlier and I forgot to say them. I guess obviously it's what I wanted to say. I guess is that it's the haters who it's not the haters who are in the wrong at the end of the day, it's the people who are actually willing to defend Jonathan Joly and justify every single thing that he does. This is why Jonathan does a lot of the things that he does. Is as he knows that he will get away with it every single time, as he knows that people will defend him for it time and time again, and he knows that people will always try to justify the things that he does. And that is why he does them, because he knows that people will defend him for it, and it's gotten ridiculous. It's like no matter what no matter what Jonathan ever does, he's never actually in the, it seems like he's never in the wrong for anything. The video I did a little while ago, that wasn't a video of, with me trying to exaggerate things. That wasn't me trying to insinuate anything, or that wasn't me trying to, to hate on him for no necessary reason. It was me, that video that I did earlier, it was me trying to encourage people to do the right thing. Do what they, encourage people to do what they need to do and report Jonathan. At the end of the day, someone has to put a stop to what he's doing. Don't worry about reporting his videos. Just report his whole goddamn fucking channel. It's a waste of time reporting his videos. Just report his whole fucking channel. That's what people need to do. I think there is a substantial amount of evidence that proves that maybe, just maybe, social services need to be getting involved. As I said earlier, if it was somebody else, there's no doubt in my mind I wouldn't be saying it. I wouldn't be saying this. I know that I'd be a lot less harsh on them, and I would be willing to think that the things they're doing are not intentional. But with Jonathan, it doesn't feel like anything is ever unintentional with him. It feels like things are always purely, intentional. There's always a reason why he's doing certain things. And it revolves around him trying to attract a certain audience. But it's also to do with the fact that he knows, that people will defend him over everything, over every single thing that he does. I think that has a big part to play in it as well. I think that has quite a substantial part to play in it. It's the fact that he knows that people will defend him over everything that he does. And obviously will want to, will try to justify all of the things he does. When I think about the other week, and I think about the way that he was zooming in on Amelia's kind of upper chest area, it actually shocked me that people were actually trying to justify that and saying, oh, he's not doing anything wrong. It was purely accidental, because it didn't feel like that. It really didn't feel like it was purely accidental, in that respect. It felt like it was purely intentional. And this is that was the major thing, really. It's just ridiculous. Really, absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. I really don't. I just wish there was something positive I could say about this, but there isn't really anything positive I can say about it. Other than Jonathan needs dealing with, somebody within that position of authority needs to get involved. And I think there's enough evidence to warrant, to warrant the need for somebody within a position of authority to get involved. It's not like there's no evidence to back up what people are saying. It's not like there's any evidence there's no evidence to back up Jonathan being a creep. Because there is quite a substantial amount of evidence that backs that up. And a lot of that evidence is all on his YouTube channel. All social services need to do is look at his YouTube channel, and that would help them to obviously get into that, and that is how they would get that understanding of why people have an issue with him, and why people are saying that someone needs to actually step in and do something. At least the video today that he's put out on his channel today, at least it had a bit more of an appropriate thumbnail. Then at least it wasn't really an open-mouthed thumbnail or anything like that today. It was just something at least. But, it's just becoming ridiculous now, and it pisses me off that it's always the haters who are in the wrong. I think people find it's not actually the haters who are in the wrong. It's the people that are willing to defend him and justify the things that he does that are actually in the wrong. It's not us. We're not in the wrong for wanting to call him out or for saying what needs to be said. We're not in the wrong for that. We are in the right for that at the end of the day. So at least we're actually willing to hold Jonathan out and actually say that the things that he keeps doing are not okay, and they're inappropriate, they're wrong. At least we're not willing to defend him or condone every single thing he does or try to justify every single thing he does. I mean, this is what I don't understand. I honestly don't understand how anyone in their right mind could ever condone the things that Jonathan does. No decent person would ever do that. This is the thing, no decent person would ever defend Jonathan or try to condone the things that he does or try to justify the things that he does. No decent person would ever do that. What any decent person would do is they would report Jonathan to social services, because that's what people need to do, is report him to social services. The sooner people start doing that, the better, because then they might actually start taking action. If they see that a lot of people have made reports about him, it might encourage them to actually look into things a little bit more. This is what needs to happen. Somebody within a position of authority really needs to start looking into Jonathan, and I actually think they need to start looking at what is on his hard drive. As I dread to think what Jonathan has on his hard drive, I swear to God, it actually sickens me and disgusts me to think what he's got, what he could have on his hard drive. It's just everything about him repulses me to the very core, to the utter core, should I say. Nothing about him screams innocent man or screams a father who cares about his kids. Everything about him screams I'm a massive creep. That's what it screams out to me. Everything about him screams out to me I'm a massive creep. But this whole situation, is made that little bit worse by the fact that people are constantly defending him over the things he does, which they should not be doing that. And I think anybody with an ounce of common sense would say that, they shouldn't be defending him over the things he does. I don't think anybody could be blamed for saying that, because at the end of the day, it's true. People are not wrong for saying that. People are out, are well within their rights to say that. And so at the end of the day, it has to be said that that things wouldn't be so bad if people weren't constantly defending him all the time, or weren't constantly trying to justify the things that he does. That makes the gravity of the situation a whole lot worse, than it ever was before. Just trying to get rid of a fly, just, which is why I moved my remote out a little bit there. But yeah, it's just, I'm done with people defending him. I'm done with people condoning every single thing that he does. I'm done with people always trying to justify the things he does. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely bloody ridiculous. And I don't know what else to say. I really don't. People just need to start doing the right thing. They need to start reporting him. People shouldn't be defending him. They should be fucking reporting him, because the guy needs reporting. This is the problem. The guy needs reporting to someone. Whether that be social services, I don't give a fuck who he's reported to, who people report him to. As long as he's reported to someone. That is what needs to happen. Jonathan needs to be reported to someone. And I don't care who it is. As long as all I care about is that he is reported to someone. As he shouldn't be at the end of the day. People think, I don't care what people think about this, but he shouldn't be allowed to keep getting away with the things that he does. He shouldn't be allowed to keep doing the things that he does and getting away with that. He shouldn't be allowed to do the things he does and not, without punishment, keep doing the things he does without punishment. He should, at the end of the day, he should be made to pay the consequences for his actions. He should be punished for a lot of the things he does. Because quite frankly, he does deserve to be punished for a lot of the things that he does. Because they are absolutely disgusting. And it just sickens me knowing that there are people who are willing to defend him and are willing to justify the things he does and are willing to condone the things that he does. That makes the gravity of this situation, so much worse. It's bad enough that he does the things he does. Without, but add the fact that people are constantly defending him and justifying the things he does and trying to condone the things he does, that makes the situation in my books, it makes the situation 10 times worse. Because, not only does he keep doing the things he does, but people keep defending him for the things he does, and trying to condone them, and he'll try to justify the things that he does. And that makes it all, and that all makes it a whole lot worse. Because as I said, no decent person in their right mind would ever defend someone like Jonathan Joly, or ever condone the things he does, or try to justify the things he does. Because there's no justifications for any of the things that Jonathan ever does. There's no condoning that. But the fact that some people are willing to actually condone the things that he does and actually justify the things that he does makes the situation a little bit worse. I'm not just angry at Jonathan over the things he does. I'm angry at the fact that people are defending him every single day over every single thing that he does. And I'm constantly trying to justify what he does and the things he does, and constantly trying to condone the things that he does every single bloody time. It's gotten beyond a joke. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on that it has gotten beyond a joke. And, it's not hard. I think, let's put it this way, right? Who's more in the wrong? The people who are condoning him, who actually are basically calling him out, and and the people that can see him for who and what he really is, or the people that are constantly defending him and trying to condone all of the things that he does. I think that makes Jonathan more in the wrong than that. And I think it's the people that are condoning it, constantly trying to condone the things he does, and constantly trying to justify the things that he does, that are actually in the wrong. It's not the people that it's not us that are in the wrong, because at least we're actually able to see Jonathan for the creep and pervert that he really is. I wouldn't go as far as saying he's a pervert, he's a paedophile and a child molester, but he's definitely a creep and a pervert. He's got that written all over him. I mean, I just am at a loss for words as to how anyone can think, and do, I mean, do people really think that they're doing a good thing by defending him? Because what people don't understand is that by them defending him and doing the things that he does and trying to justify the things that he does, they're basically enabling him to continue doing the things he does. That is the major issue here. Is that the people who are defending him don't realise that they are enabling him to do the things that he does. They know at the end of the day they're to blame for the fact that Jonathan does the things he does. So they're always defending him. And that's why Jonathan does the things he does, is because he knows that people are always willing to defend him. He knows that no matter what he ever does, people will always jump to his defence and will try to condone what he did, the things he does, or tries to justify the things that he does. But there's never any justification for it, or there's never his actions should never be condoned. The fact that people are actually protecting a fucking creep and a pervert like him is actually shocking. Why the hell would anyone want to protect a creep and pervert like him? They should be reporting him to social services and whoever else. They shouldn't be protecting him or defending him or whatever. It's just not fucking up. It is completely and utterly fucking unacceptable. And I'm not gonna apologise for saying the things I've said, because these things had to be said. This is important now. It's gotten to the point where it has to stop. Which is why people need to report him, because it's the only way people are going to get him to stop doing what he does, is by reporting him to the necessary authorities. Whether that be I'm not saying report him to the police, but report him to social services at least. That would be the right thing to do. I'm not saying it's not worth reporting him. I mean, as I said earlier, I'm very close to doing it, and I'm very tempted to do it. And I think that it would be the right thing to do. And do you know what? I'm being honest now. If I actually reported to Jonathan to social services, I really wouldn't feel bad. I would not feel bad at all for doing that. I would actually be proud of myself for the fact that I reported him to social services. I wouldn't be ashamed of the fact that I'd done that. I wouldn't feel bad about the fact that I'd reported him. I'd feel happy about that. Because at least I was willing to do the right thing. At least I actually had the balls to do something that needs to be done. At least I actually had the balls to do something that a lot more people should actually be doing. It's as simple as that. All I'm saying is, the more people that report him to social services, the better. People need to stop condoning everything that he does. Stop trying to justify every single thing that he does. Stop defending him every single fucking damn day. And start doing the right thing. Start reporting him instead of defending him. People need to get their heads out of his backside and actually start doing the right thing for once. Jonathan is not the fucking great guy that he's made out to be. He's now but a low-life creep and a pervert, and the sooner people start seeing that, the better. It's about time that people woke the fuck up and started to see Jonathan Joly for who and what he really is. They need to start seeing him for the low-life scumbag that he really is. Simple as that. And I'm not going to apologise for saying that, if it's true. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you for another one very soon. Bye bye.